Ready? Well, welcome and thank you for attending the first session of the 92nd Council for the City of North Canton. By way of introduction, I'm Mayor Steve Wilder, and I welcome all of you. This is the organizational meeting of Council in the office of the Mayor who have been elected to terms of office commencing December 1, 2023 through November 31, 2025. Our first order of business is the administration of the oaths of office for the Mayor and City Council. We are pleased to have the Honorable Mary A. Falvey, Judge, Canton Municipal Court, who has served with excellence for our greater Stark County community since 1991. And she will be performing the oaths of office. So Judge Falvey, on behalf of myself, City Council, and City Administration, we would like to thank you for volunteering your services and taking the time out of your busy schedule to administer the oaths of office for the office of Mayor and City Council members. So, Your Honor, will you please come forward and conduct the oaths of office?
Yes, I guess I'm to go to the podium.
Please conduct yourself with the oaths of office.
Thank you for following the rules.
All right, Mayor, I'm going to have you stand and raise your right hand. It has been ordered by the will of the people of the City of North Canton that you be sworn in as Mayor of the City of North Canton, Ohio. The people now ask that you make an oath of office to affirm your duties and responsibilities. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Stephen B. Wilder,
I, Stephen B. Wilder,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinances and resolutions of of the City of North Canton, Ohio,
and the ordinances and resolutions of the City of North Canton, Ohio,
to faithfully, honestly, and impartially
to faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duty
of the office of the Mayor of the City of North Canton,
of the office of the Mayor for the City of North Canton.
and this I do
And this I do
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer unto God. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Next order of business will be for City Council members. Thank you, Judge.
All right, I'm going to ask the City Council members to stand, and I'll swear you in all at the same time. It has been ordered by the will of the people of the City of North Canton that you be sworn in as the council of the City of North Canton, Ohio. The people now ask that you make an oath of office to affirm your duties and responsibilities. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
To support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinances and resolutions
and the ordinances and resolutions
of the City of North Canton, Ohio,
of the City of North Canton,
and to faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and to faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of council member
of
of the
the
office of council member
of the City of North Canton, Ohio.
of the City of North Canton.
And this I do
And this I do
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer unto God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me again. It's been an honor.
We all- I know we have another appointment to go to, so we will not hold you to the.
Enjoy the new term, and I hope it's peaceful and productive.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I also want to, again, thank all the guests that are here today, and especially Judge Warren, who is also a member of the Canton Municipal Court, joining us. My pastor is here with his wife Melissa, and my brother-in-law and my sister. And I know you all have other family members here, so I took the honors to introduce them.
That's good.
Okay, so here we go. Now call to order the organizational meeting of the first session of this 92nd Council of the City of North Canton, Ohio, December 1, 2023, at 5 p.m. as we started. Please stand with me as I present the opening prayer, and then we'll do the pledge of allegiance. Please stand. Let us pray for the Holy Spirit, each in our own way, for the opportunity to be here tonight. Let us give thanks for every seat that has been filled here tonight, and for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. We thank you, O Lord. And Lord, only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions to better our community. We have talents, abilities, and time to do the work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning and every project, every season, and every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Thank you, each of you, thank your Holy Spirit for entering our lives to be the best that we can be. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Ben, will you please call the roll?
Member Orr?
Here.
Member Owens?
Here.
Member Stroya?
Here.
Member Warren?
Here.
Member McLeister?
Here.
Member Wyrick?
Here.
Member Matheny?
Here.
7 present.
7 present. Thank you. Council shall elect from among its members one individual to serve as president of City Council. And to be elected, a member must receive 4 votes. At this time, the floor is open to nominations for president of City Council.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Matthew Stroya for the office of president.
Second. And I move that the nominations be closed.
You're ahead of me on the script.
Well, it is holiday season.
Move a little faster than the federal. Okay, so, Mr. Stroya, do you accept the nomination to serve as president of City Council?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. Seeing none, the floor is closed to further nominations. As motion and seconded. Clerk, at this time, will you please conduct a roll call vote for Matthew Stroya to be as council president?
Member Matheny?
Yes.
Member Wyrick?
Yes.
Member McLeister?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Member Stroya?
Yes.
Member Owens?
Yes.
Member Orr?
Yes.
7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Clerk, please certify that into the records that the name of Matthew Stroya is hereby elected as president of City Council by 7 votes.
Okay, my turn. I'll take over. Thank you, Mayor.
I'll take over.
Of council, to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The gavel and the wooden block.
All right.
It's back.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. At this time, the floor is open for nominations for vice president of council. I'd like to nominate Stephanie Warren.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Now I have this.
yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm skipping ahead as well. Any further nominations?
You need to ask Stephanie if she accepts.
Oh, do you accept it?
I do.
Sorry. Okay. Any further nominations? Okay. I move that the floor is closed for nominations.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Clerk, at this time, will you please conduct a ballot by roll call?
Member Orr?
Yes.
Member Owens?
Yes.
Member Stroya?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Member McLeister?
Yes.
Member Wyrick?
Yes.
Member Matheny?
Yes.
7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, Clerk, would you please certify that Stephanie Warren is hereby elected Vice President of the Council? Okay. Moving on, we will now establish the rules of council for the 2024 legislative year. We will start with the rules in place at the conclusion of the previous council as the baseline for our conversation, and the floor is now open for potential amendments.
President Stroya?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to look at the Rule 40 and those where it talks about the length of time that individuals can speak. And I would like to move that to 5 minutes instead of 3.
Yes.
Make sure that that's consistent.
Second.
To be clear, it's currently at 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So no amendment is needed to keep it where it is.
I understand that.
Did it say
Okay.
3 somewhere?
It
One of
does
the
in the,
proposals.
Oh, okay.
One of the proposals, yeah.
I agree also with that, and I think in talking to a lot of constituents, they wanted it 3, or pardon me, they wanted it 5 minutes. And it's the least we can do in hearing our constituents and keeping it 5 minutes.
Yep, I agree.
As we discuss this too, would council consider public speaks at committee meetings where we're looking at having a discussion for something to move to the agenda, to allow residents to speak at that time when there's conversation going on in that meeting, to discuss it, in case there's a question that maybe we didn't ask, but members would. What are your thoughts?
That's tough. I mean, I think I have mixed views on that. I think the whole purpose of committee is to discuss it, to then put on the floor, and then get public feedback.
Yeah. Because a lot changes.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
always
it's
baked when we discuss it in committee.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but so I mean, in preparation for this, I think I watched maybe in between 10 and 13 different meetings. I've never seen it
A committee.
run that way. I've never seen that run that way, but I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know how the structure and how it would affect the legislation. I mean, I think what we're doing, and hopefully what we all agree on in consensus tonight, is that we're going to give the public the feedback during the regular meetings, where that's the legislation part, where you can still make amendments. That's tough. I'd have to think about that personally. I mean, everybody has equal input, obviously, but
I
yeah.
get what you're saying, I think, because sometimes the public thinks whenever we move something from committee to the agenda, that means we're all a yes vote.
And it's not.
the agenda. And so I think there's just some education that needs to be
Yeah.
done there.
I mean, they theoretically have 3 times to speak. So that is a lot of times to speak on legislation.
Right.
And so to add to that, without some of the facts that are initially in committee, I think it's not giving them all the information beforehand. And then I think we become redundant. We've already had issues with redundancy, I think, at committee meetings. So
Yeah, I think I would like to just see it stay at council
Yeah.
meetings. So, but along
with
with
these new
that,
formats,
I'm sorry.
with some of these new formats.
Yeah, with some of these new formats, I'm also open to the thought of having an open topic discussion at each meeting as opposed to just the first Monday of each month. So I'm curious what you all.
I agree.
I'm good with
Talking
that.
about that at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
I agree.
You know, following these
yeah.
rules and formats that are laid out here.
Yeah. Yes,
But
I agree.
You said a key thing, educate. Our voters really need to be educated out there. They need to know what we can or cannot do. And many, many, many don't.
No.
You know, it's a shame. So we will have to do a better job of communicating and educating. And that's on all of us.
Well, I think
Well,
some of these changes to the rules, just being able to respond when we're addressed
Yes.
will be really helpful.
Well, some of that is nice too, because there may be misinformation, and then we're able to say, no, this is actually what's happening. And then I think in this, if I read correctly, the open portion will be at the end of the meeting. So that gives you the ability, if you want to come halfway through the meeting, and then come if you're listening online and say, hey, I want to get to the meeting, I want to ask them this question. I understand. but that does give people then afterwards, we're up here, they can keep continuing the conversation.
Yeah, there's a little phrase that I don't like on this that I would like to change. In the number 2 part where it says make general statements. I don't want to have to ask something in the form of a question like Jeopardy to a constituent. I just want to say what's on. I mean, the whole
Wait, so
point.
where are you?
So right here,
Okay.
it says so.
Speeches, make general
Not give
statements.
speeches. I'm fine. I don't think there's any need for our council to give a speech in response to a constituent. I think that's ridiculous. But to make a general statement would be kind of common in
Yeah.
every meeting I've ever seen where there's an exchange of information that people say general statements.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of silly too. So I'd like to strike that. And then on 38, or just, I guess it could be anywhere in the structure of this, the public would have a choice to speak at the beginning of the meeting, not at the beginning, but in the placement of after roll call in consideration in the recognition of public section that would be on G in that format. That would be agenda only. And then they could pick or choose. They could speak on the agenda or they could speak at the end for any topic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not both. You don't have a choice to speak for 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes either on the agenda or any topic.
Mhm.
So that's I'd like that to be clear in the rules that we write.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
On the first page in 2, it says that council members are only allowed to ask a question. So if someone gets up there and speaks and then we're only allowed to ask questions, we aren't allowed to make that. Is that what you're talking about? With
That's the general statement. That's why I
So
wanted to get
somebody
rid of
could
it.
say, you know, you clean the streets only 5 days, and we're like, no, actually, we clean them 7.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be, or then you'd have to play the game
Yeah. No.
of what it do,
No.
to form it into a question to say, like Jeopardy,
Okay.
which doesn't make sense. Yeah. So in this, you'd have a sign-in sheet. I don't care what's on the sign-in sheet. The sign-in sheet is common. For one, you have more order on, instead of waiting for somebody to come up and speak, we already know that you're going to speak. So we don't have to play the game of anyone else wishing to speak. And some people are kind of like,
It helps
Yeah.
things move
Like,
along.
yeah, right. And the spelling of a name is going to be given to the court
It
reporter
makes it easier.
accurately, so you don't have to go back. And it's not to delay anything, but it does provide more order.
One
in my
suggestion
opinion.
that I received from a constituent is just making sure that we have that clipboard or some sort of a clipboard put in a conspicuous location. The suggestion was made right at the podium as opposed to having to come up here and talk to the clerk.
What
I
about
think
if it's right when they sign in with the police?
Oh, they could do that either.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
We also, I think we should consider being just a little lenient on that for maybe the first meeting or two,
Yes.
because people are getting used to the new rules.
Absolutely. And we can always make a motion to suspend the rule on that or something
Sure.
to, if I think we need to be more accepting.
Yeah.
It's a change and the public's not going to be used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are still gonna go up to the podium
Yes.
and say their name,
Yes.
say their address.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't think any redundance in that by signing in and that will be any issues?
Well,
I didn't see
I
anything,
mean,
I didn't see anything wrong
No.
with how
Yeah.
it was.
the public won't hear the name if it's just written. So, I mean, I think it would be good to have it stated for the record as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
Unless the
not-
clerk reads it.
If
But
it's not
yeah.
stated by somebody, whether the
Right.
president reads it, or
Right.
I read it, or you
Yeah.
read it, it won't
Yeah.
be in the minutes.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
yeah. Yeah. Any other questions or comments or anything? And Dave, I'm not dismissing what you said. I think we need to consider that. And I think we should consider changes throughout the year as well.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to open up.
Yeah,
the conversation,
yeah.
get your thoughts on.
Yep.
If we change some of the meetings anyway, it might not matter.
Well, that's true too, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
May I lead you through motions to
Yes.
accomplish all of this?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
I would like to start with number 2 on your proposal sheet. So, if I understand your discussion correctly, we want a motion to establish the new proposed rule as written with 2 changes. First, striking the phrase "make general statement," and second, adding to the end of the third sentence, which is comments from city officials, starts comments from city officials. You'd like to add to the end of that sentence, limited only to posing questions to the speakers or making clarifying statements.
Yeah,
Sounds
that
good.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I can do it on screen.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
And then we keep Rule 40, the proposed Rule 40.
Yes.
Is that an accurate representation of your discussion?
Yes.
And then we talked about, length of time. It's remaining at 5 minutes for Rule 37. So.
I'm looking at,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so in Rule 40 where it says speakers 5 minutes, it'll stay saying speakers 5 minutes. Does anybody want to make that motion to adopt number 2 as now written on the screen?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On that public speaks, are you still gonna go over the rules of that beforehand, or,
How he speaks at the beginning?
yeah?
I think that's
Or,
nice.
or would you like to, as the speakers come up, remind them of what the rules are?
We could do both.
We would only,
Yeah, I'd like to have,
because we really only have 3-4 speakers at most meetings.
right.
Yeah, but there's times when we've
Yeah.
had new folks. I think it still needs to be said at every.
I think we could have a cheat sheet too, next to the legislation that sits out there.
We always did
reminding-
before,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that would be nice, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it very clear.
Okay, so then the second change, I believe, would be if we go to number 3 on your sheet, to amend Rule 25 to make 2 recognitions of the public. One roughly at the top of the meeting for agenda items, and
Mhm.
one roughly at the end of the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody want to make that?
Well, they can't talk at both, correct?
Correct.
I will get to that.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason I'm doing them in this order.
All
All
right.
right.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
Okay. So now that we've amended Rule 25, if you go to number 1 on your sheet, my understanding is you all would like this as written, and yes, to Jamie, I can absolutely put it on the podium, and then 5 minutes before the meeting starts, I'll walk up and get it and say, anybody else want to sign up? Let's go.
Yeah.
But you would like added to this sign up rule that you may only sign up for either Section G or Section J, not both.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And on that sheet, will they tell which one they're gonna talk at?
You need
Yeah,
to.
like a checkbox or
Yeah, good
something.
idea.
Okay.
That's good. Fast typer.
In the public.
Makes sense if he messes something.
Mhm.
President Stroyer,
Yes.
may I ask a question?
Sure. Of course.
Just looking at item J, recognition of public, general topic. Are we going to give any parameters as what the general topic is? hate to throw that out there to you, but is it going to be something generated for strictly
I think usually
government business?
the phrase is, yeah,
Thank you very much.
but I think it's usually under the council or under the city's authority.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, it's on number 4.
yeah.
Is there any way, let's suppose someone comes up and they want to spend half their time on the first part and half their time on the last part, is that allowed?
I mean, the way I look at it is if you do it in the second section, you're allowed to talk about anything.
So they could,
So
Okay,
if you don't
that
know what
makes
you're
sense.
gonna choose, then you would just speak
the open.
on the open topic.
Open
That's
topic.
open to
Okay.
anything.
Just-
Also might get too confusing to say.
Right,
oh, This
yeah.
Just trying to
person
clarify,
spoke
yeah.
for 2 minutes and 37
Right.
seconds.
Right,
We gotta
yeah.
Do some fast math.
Yeah.
so they would just
I don't want to
speak
get
in
into the federal stuff of banking my time for something. Yeah.
Okay, is everybody happy with the 2 sentences as drafted on the screen? To add about,
Yes.
you may only pick one.
Yes.
That looks good.
So would anybody like to make a motion to adopt this new rule?
So moved as changed.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then lastly, for 38, we want to sort of split the current Rule 38 into, our first sentence would be 4 members of the public speaking during the first recognition. Like, so for members of the public speaking during the first recognition of the public, each speaker's comments shall be limited to discussion of legislative items on council's agenda for that particular council. This may include items previously postponed from a prior council meeting that remain unresolved.
Yes.
And
That's
then
good.
instead of this additionally, we want to replace this additionally phrase with for members of the public speaking during the second recognition of the public. Speakers may speak on any topic or subject that would reasonably be under the authority of the city.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
I'll make the motion for those changes.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Nope. Next page, I think.
Now, collectively, do we need to establish the rules as a whole, or is that okay that we went through every individual one to
So
do
now
that?
you need to do the after all changes. So motion and second to adopt rules of council as enacted by the previous council as amended here.
Okay. I will make that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, those are our new rules. Right. Okay, so at this time, wait, is that 10? Did I skip
You're
ahead?
at 10.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. At this time, the floor is now open to nominations for the civil service. Council may make one appointment for a term of 6 years. Are there any nominations? Civil service.
You can bring this back later.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
don't have
Bring it
anyone now, but it must be done before January.
That's pretty good.
Okay, we will bring it back. Okay, so moving on. At this time, the floor will be open to nominations for the Board of Income Tax Review. Council must make 2 appointments for terms of 2 years. Nominees must be electors in the city who hold no employment or contract with the city. So I would like to nominate.
Before
Oh, go ahead.
we begin,
Yeah.
we did have one application.
Okay.
Member Matheny will need to recuse himself
Yes.
from this discussion if you'd like to consider that.
And that is who I was going to nominate, is Grace Matheny.
I need to go to our lovely back room.
I can't even smile at it.
That's right. Remain stoic.
Nominated her.
Yes.
Can I second that nomination?
Okay. Do we need to do a roll call here? Yes, we do.
Well, does anybody have a?
Oh,
you
do it
need
second.
two, so does
Okay,
anybody have anybody
yeah.
else?
John, you said you might have a second.
Yeah, Zach Fetman, you might
Okay.
remember
Yeah,
Zach from
yeah.
the committee.
Yep. Okay.
Charter committee.
Yep. I will second that. Okay, now can we do the roll call vote of the approval? Okay.
When I call your name, you need to tell me the two names you are voting for. Okay? Member Orr.
Zach Fetman and Mrs. Matheny. Yes.
Member Owen.
Zach Putman and Grace Matheny.
Member Short.
Zach Fetman and Grace Matheny.
Member Ware.
Zach Fetman and Grace Matheny.
Member McLeese.
I would like to vote for Grace Matheny and Zach Fetman.
You wrote it down.
Member Wire.
Grace Matheny and Zach.
6 votes each for Grace Matheny and Zach Fetman.
Okay. Okay, so Grace Matheny and Zach Fetman are hereby appointed to the Board of Income Tax Review with 6 votes. Okay. Let's skip over to
MC.
Yeah, okay. At this time, floor is now open to council representative to the Planning Commission for 2024. Nominees must be members of council. So this is for the Planning Commission. I currently serve that. I'm not going to nominate myself, but I don't mind doing it.
Would you like to continue doing it?
If you nominate me,
So
I'll decide.
I'll nominate Matthew Stroya as council's representative to Planning Commission for
Okay.
2024.
Are there any other nominations?
No.
Okay. Now is when I accept it. Yeah, I'll accept that nomination. So
You can just do, is there a motion and a second?
yeah, it's okay. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Matthew Stroy is hereby appointed as council representative to the Planning Commission with 7 votes. Okay, at this time, the nomination is open for the council representative to the ZBOA for 2024. Nominees must be members of the council.
Mr. Stroya, would you like to go for 2 for 2? Or,
If anybody else would like to do it,
Jamie, do you want to?
yeah,
Be on that?
it's up to you guys.
doesn't matter. I can do it.
Yeah, I don't oppose doing it, but I invite somebody else to as well.
Because what were you before?
I was the chairman of the Planning
Planning.
Commission.
Okay, yeah. Well, this will be kind of like.
There you go.
All right. I mean, John, do you want to? You had mentioned before. You
Yeah, it
mind up?
doesn't
Okay.
matter. You wanna
It's
do it?
it's
6
up to
one
you
person
guys.
the other.
Okay.
You guys decide.
Yeah, you guys decide that. Fight
You
it
tell
out.
me, do you want to do it?
I'll do it.
All right, John.
I'll join you at the meetings. So
I'll be there too.
Either of these in the past, just because my past chairmanship,
Yeah.
I didn't want to have any
Yeah.
undue influence. So, but I'll go with you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
So is there
So I nominate John. What is wrong with me tonight?
John,
What is wrong with me tonight?
I second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Do you need to do a roll call vote here? Yeah.
we don't have to do it.
Oh, we don't. Okay.
You can if you want.
John Orr is hereby appointed to the council as the council representative to the Zoning Board of Appeals with 7 votes. Okay. All right. Moving on to the calendar here. Okay, we will now establish the calendar for the 2024 legislative year. Are there any requested changes to the calendar? There's going to be, because if you look at the calendar, now we've added public speaks to
Yeah.
every regular
I will
council
correct
meeting.
the-
Okay,
A little bit, pretty much just the dates.
Yeah.
yeah,
I wrote it as if the rule states.
Right.
I didn't-
okay.
I
Is it,
saw another
yeah,
issue.
sure.
Election day is not on a Monday.
No,
The meet-
We had a meeting this year,
we did.
day before election.
I think sometimes we haven't, in case people are campaigning or running for things or helping others, putting up signs and going to locations.
Well, that's, it's kind of late to be putting up signs the day of the election.
No, because, no,
Take it back.
no, because you would be going to the places to put up the
Oh,
signs,
okay.
Mhm.
all the voting locations.
Is this venue booked for
Yeah,
voting,
it'll
or
be a
it's,
voting,
okay,
next year.
So, I mean, we did it last year. We should probably do it this year.
I think it's fine.
I
the
think,
way it is.
yeah, the only
I
thing
think
I
it's
can think
fine
of
the way it
is,
is.
yeah, I'm okay with what it, because I think last year,
If we need to have it, we
they
can.
didn't have it, or this year, they didn't have it here.
Yeah, we had election here.
It was here for
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
I don't
it was here.
live over here, all right.
I'm fine with
I
the way
mean,
it is. We can
whatever
always
you
add
guys,
to it if we
yeah,
need to.
that's true,
Let's leave it.
okay. Anything else that you guys see here that needs to be changed? I mean, we can always add, we will, we always
Yeah,
do.
they add
Yeah.
and subtract.
Yeah. What was I looking at?
Looks good.
How about we come back on the 5th and we take off on the 8th of July? Because that's the 4th of July, afterwards and stuff, and I think that would be,
You say come back on, say that again?
we would leave council, we wouldn't have council on July 8th, okay? And then we would come back August 12th.
I think we have to have.
You have to have one meeting a month.
Yeah.
We do?
You have to
Yeah.
have one.
One.
Is the charter,
Mhm.
and it must be a regular count.
We
The
could always-
Committee does not count.
And at that point, we might be able to switch those around and have one on the first, and depending on where
Yeah.
our business is.
Potentially.
We could double
combine
up
those
that
two.
first.
Yeah,
Because a lot of us do things.
Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of people that travel around
Yeah.
that time. Okay,
so we can leave that adjust.
so yeah, we can leave that, but that's a good note to put on here. Okay, anything else that you guys see here, people, everybody?
That's good.
All right, okay. Can I have a motion and a second to adopt the 2024 legislative calendar as submitted / amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Okay, if you do want a different committee preference, you're welcome to submit it via writing. That will be decided by December 4th. That being said, any other comments or anything? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?